The sky above Velis cracked with fire as a silver escape pod tore through the clouds. It moved fast, leaving a burning trail behind it. From the high cliffs of the Tsari patrol base, 4 alien women watched with alert eyes. Lyra narrowed her gaze. "It's not one of ours," she said. Her voice was calm but firm. "Should we report it?" Mira asked, stepping closer to the edge. Enwine shook her head. "Not yet. First, we see what it is. If it's a threat, we deal with it quietly." The fourth, Veza, didn't speak. She simply turned and headed to the hangar to prepare their flyer. The others followed. Velis was a beautiful world. Tall blue trees, soft purple grass, and mountains that touched the clouds. But now it had a visitor. A stranger. And the Tsari didn't trust strangers. When the flyer landed near the crash site, smoke filled the air. The pod was broken, but not destroyed. Strange symbols were marked on the side. None of the 4 had seen such letters before. "Is it human?" Veza finally asked. Lyra's expression darkened. "I hope not." They moved carefully toward the pod. The hatch was open halfway. Inside, something moved. Mira raised her hand, using her mind to scan the area. A Tsari skill. But the signal she received was strange. Not violent, but strong. "Alive. Something's in there," she whispered. They stepped closer. Inside the pod, they saw him, a human male. He was lying down, eyes closed, skin pale and bruised. He wore strange clothes torn from the crash. Blood marked his forehead, but his chest moved. He was breathing. The 4 stood still. "So it's true," Nawin said softly. "Humans exist." "And he's alone," Veza added. Lyra looked around. "We take him to the outpost, quietly, no alerts. We don't tell command yet." Mira frowned. "Why not?" "Because I want to see if the old stories are true," Lyra answered. "They say humans are monsters, but this one, he doesn't look like a monster." They lifted the human carefully. He was heavier than he looked. Silent. And still he didn't wake. The outpost was small, hidden in a valley. Only the 4 of them lived there. It was the perfect place to keep a secret. They placed the human in the guest room. Mira checked his wounds. Enwine set up a shield to block any signals. Veza stood by the door, always watching. For hours he slept. "What do we do when he wakes?" Mira asked. "Watch him. Study him," Lyra said. "If he's dangerous, we deal with him. If not, we learn." They waited. Night fell. The alien stars above Velis glowed brightly. Suddenly, a sound came from the room. The human stirred. His eyes opened slowly, brown and wide. He blinked at the strange ceiling, then at the 4 alien faces looking down at him. He tried to sit, but his body was weak. "Where am I?" he asked, voice dry. The 4 stepped back. He looked at them, tall, blue-skinned women with glowing eyes and smooth markings on their foreheads. Their clothes were light but strong. Alien, yet graceful. "Don't move," Lyra said. "I won't." The human replied quickly. I crashed. "My ship." He stopped, realizing they might not understand. "We know," Veza said coldly. "You are human?" He nodded slowly. "My name is Rian. I'm not here to fight. I didn't even mean to land here." Mira looked at the others. His voice was calm. "Not like the stories. You're not afraid?" Enwin asked, surprised. "I'm in a strange place, surrounded by aliens." "I think I should be," Rian said with a tired smile. It confused them. Was he mocking them, or simply honest? Lyra stepped forward. "Why did your kind come here?" "I didn't choose this," Rian explained. "My ship was attacked. I escaped in a pod. I don't even know what planet this is." "You are on Velis," Mira answered. "Never heard of it," Rian said softly. "But thank you for helping me." The room went quiet. Helping him? They didn't think of it that way. Later, when Rian fell asleep again, the 4 Tsari sat together in the next room. He's different, Mira said. Too calm, Veza added. It could be a trick. Or it could be real, and when offered. Lyra stayed silent for a moment. Then she said, we keep watching him, but no reports to command. Not yet. Still curious? Veza asked. Yes, Lyra replied. The stories told us humans are wild, dangerous, impossible to trust. But this one speaks softly. He listens. That's not the behavior of a monster. Mira looked through the glass window, watching Rian sleep. Maybe, she whispered. We don't know as much about humans as we think. Outside, the night winds of Velis blew softly. And inside, 4 alien women began to question everything they had been taught. Morning light shone through the glass walls of the outpost. Velis was calm again. The trees swayed gently in the breeze, and the sky was painted soft gold. Inside the outpost, things were quiet except for the tension in the air. Rian sat on the bed, awake. His eyes moved around the room. It was strange smooth silver walls, glowing crystals, and floating lights. He touched the bandage on his forehead. Someone had cared for him. The door slid open. Veza walked in, holding a small tray with food. She was tall, serious, and silent. Her long fingers placed the tray on the table without a word. Rian gave a small nod. Thank you. Veza didn't respond. She just looked at him with a sharp gaze and walked out. He sighed. Okay, still not friendly. In the main room, the 4 Tsari were gathered again. He's stronger today, Mira said. He tried to stand. Did he show any threat? Lyra asked. No, Myra replied. He only looked around. He seems curious. N1 crossed her arms. What if that's how humans begin their attack? First calm, then chaos. Veza nodded. We should not trust him. Not yet, Lyra agreed. We don't trust, we observe. She turned to Mira. Try scanning him again. I did last night, Mira said. But his mind, it's like a wall. I couldn't enter. Lyra's eyes narrowed. Then we try something else. Later that day, the 4 aliens entered Rian's room together. He stood up slowly, using the wall for balance. His legs still hurt, but he could walk. Are you ready to speak? Lyra asked. Rian looked at all 4 of them and gave a small smile. I've been ready. You just never asked. Lyra stepped forward. You are Rian. From Earth? Yes, he said. What is your purpose here? Veza demanded. I told you, I crashed. I wasn't coming here on purpose. Your people, are they near? N1 asked. No, Rian replied. I was alone when I escaped. Mira stepped closer. You are not like the stories. The stories say humans attack first. Rian frowned. I've heard those stories too. About other species. But not all stories are true. There was silence in the room. Then show us the truth. Lyra said. They led him outside the outpost, to a wide open space. Trees lined the edges and birds flew above. Prove you are peaceful, Lyra said. Help us understand you. Rian looked confused. How? Show us how your kind lives. Speak of your world. So he did. He spoke of Earth, of mountains, rivers, cities, and oceans. He told them about music, art, and science. About how humans survive storms, build homes, and travel through the stars. He explained their pain too, how humans had fought, lost, and learned. The Sari listened at first, with doubt then with interest later. As Rian sat under a tree, Mira approached him alone. She looked curious now, not cold. Your world sounds beautiful, she said. It is, Rian replied. But also broken sometimes, like all things. She sat down near him. Why do you not fear us? I did, he admitted. When I first saw you, I thought I would be locked up. Or worse. And now? She asked. Now I think. Maybe I was lucky. You helped me. Even if you didn't want to. Mira gave a small nod. Our rules say we must report strangers. Then why didn't you? She looked away. Because you didn't feel like a danger. You felt different. I wanted to know more, Rian smiled, then asked. Inside the outpost, Lyra watched them from the window. Are we making a mistake? Veza asked her. Lyra didn't answer right away. I don't know, she said finally. But look at Mira. She never speaks to outsiders, and now she sits beside one. Enwin joined them. Maybe it is his trick. Or maybe, Lyra said, we were wrong about humans. That night, Rian was allowed to move freely inside the outpost. He helped fix a broken light panel. He showed them how to connect an old battery using human methods. He drew maps of the stars he had seen. He explained things simply, using gestures and pictures. Veza watched from a distance, still unsure, but Enwen finally said, he is strange, but honest. For the first time, all four agreed on one thing. The human was not what they expected. Before sleeping, Rian stood by the window, looking at the stars. 4 alien women watched him from the hallway. He is alone here, Mira said. Softly, and yet he still shares, Enwin added. Veza looked thoughtful. He does not hide his fear. He accepts it. That is rare. Lyra finally spoke. We will continue to watch him, but maybe, just maybe, he is not a monster. They left him alone that night, with no locks, no chains, only silent wonder and quiet questions. Who was this human? And what else was he hiding? The morning breeze carried a cool scent from the mountain trees. Velis was peaceful, but inside the outpost, tension still lingered. Rian sat quietly near the control room, repairing a cracked display screen. He worked with focus, using small tools from his pod, and some help from Sari Tech. Mira stood nearby, observing him. You repair well, she said. Rian glanced up with a light smile. Where I come from, if you don't fix it yourself, it stays broken forever. Mira tilted her head. That sounds difficult. He nodded. It is. But we learn. She sat down beside him. Would you allow me to read your thoughts? Rian's hands paused. Read my thoughts? How? Sari can connect minds. Only if you allow it. Rian thought for a moment. He didn't want to hide, but the idea of someone inside his mind felt strange. Still, he trusted Mira more than the others. She had shown kindness. Okay, he said. Just be gentle. Mira smiled. I will try. She closed her eyes, placing her fingers near his temple. A soft glow formed on her forehead as she reached out with her mind. Sari's mental touch was smooth and silent, like water flowing through air. But something strange happened. The connection stopped. Myra pulled back, surprised. I couldn't enter, she said quietly. Rian looked confused. Is something wrong? No, Myra said slowly. You didn't stop me. But your mind, it's like a shield, a natural one. It blocked me. Rian raised an eyebrow. I didn't even try. Maybe humans just think differently. Mira nodded slowly, unsure. I've read many minds before. This never happened. Later, Mira told the others what had happened. He blocked you? Veza asked sharply. No, Myra said. It wasn't on purpose, his mind. It was firm, like a wall of stone. Strong and quiet. Then he's hiding something, Veza said. Or maybe, Noan added, his species is simply built different. Strong minds. Strong bodies. That would explain a lot. Lyra didn't speak. She was deep in thought. She finally said, let's test it. One of us should try again. I will, Veza said. If he blocks me, we'll know it's not just a mistake. Veza went to Rian's room that evening. He was sitting by the window, drawing in a notebook made of spare paper. She stood tall. I want to test your mind, for safety. Rian looked up. Again? Yes, she said. You may say no. Rian closed his book. No, it's fine. Go ahead. Vesa stepped forward, repeating Myra's process. Her fingers touched his temple. Her forehead glowed. Then nothing. A deep stillness surrounded her, like standing in front of a mountain. No opening, no doorway. Just silence and strength. She pulled back sharply. He didn't stop me, she admitted later. But I couldn't enter. Lyra folded her arms. So it's true. His mind is strong, too strong for us. That makes him dangerous. Vesa said. Or valuable, Myra added. Lyra looked out the window. We must know more. We ask him directly now. At dinner, the four sat across from Rian in the central hall. The long silver table reflected the soft ceiling lights. A bowl of warm green fruits sat untouched between them. Lyra spoke first. Your mind resists us. Why? Rian looked around the table. I don't know how, but I've always felt aware. Like something in me stays alert even when I sleep. Maybe humans evolved that way, to survive. Enwen leaned forward. Can all humans block mental touch? Maybe not all, Rian said. But some, yes. We've had wars, secrets. Maybe we built our minds like shields over time. Lyra studied him carefully. That makes your kind dangerous. Rian didn't flinch. Dangerous? Or just prepared? There was silence. Then Myra said, You don't act like a threat, but you hold power, quiet power. Rian nodded. Power doesn't always mean harm. Later that night, the Tsari women spoke privately. He may be something more, Nowayan said, something we haven't seen before. He is alone and still not afraid, Vesa said. That is rare. Myra added, He hides nothing. He tells the truth without fear. Lyra closed her eyes. The human mind is a puzzle. But I don't think he's an enemy. Then, something unexpected happened. The outpost lights flickered. A warning beep echoed from the main console. Lyra rushed to the screen. An energy storm is coming. Strong winds, possible rockfalls. Shield the roof. Enwen called. Vesa and Myra began activating the storm protection system. But one side of the energy wall was damaged, the same part Rian had been fixing. As wind roared outside. Rian stepped into the hall. Something's wrong, he said. The wall is weak, Myra shouted. The storm will break it. Rian didn't wait. He grabbed the old metal panel and rushed outside, using ropes and wires to reinforce it. The wind hit him hard, pushing his body sideways. But he held firm, tying down parts quickly and securing loose joints. Vesa ran to help, but he waved her back. I've got this. He yelled. Lightning cracked across the sky, but Rian didn't stop. After 10 minutes, the wall was secured. The outpost held inside. The four watched him dripping with rain, clothes torn, hands bleeding but standing strong. No fear. No complaints, just effort. Just strength. Myra whispered. He protected us. Nain nodded, with his own body. Vesa crossed her arms and never asked for anything. Lyra looked at the human standing in the rain. Maybe he was strong. Maybe he was different. But one thing was clear. This human didn't come to destroy. He came to survive. The storm passed by morning. Velis was quiet again, but the outpost still felt shaken. One of the power units was damaged, and a section of the outer wall was cracked. But thanks to Rian's quick actions, nothing important was lost. Inside the outpost, the four Tsari sat together in the common room. Rian was resting in the medical bay, his arms bandaged, hands sore. Yet he hadn't complained once. He went out there alone, Enwen said, looking at the security footage. In the middle of the storm. Not even trained for our weather. Vesa added. Still, he acted without fear. Myra spoke softly. He protected us. No order, no reward, just instinct. Lyra said nothing. She stared at the screen, watching Rian fix the wall again and again in slow motion. Why? She finally asked. Why risk his life for us? Vesa crossed her arms. Because he's not what we expected. Later, Rian woke up in the medical room. His eyes blinked against the soft white light above him. His muscles ached, but he smiled a little when he saw Mira sitting beside him. "You're always the first face I see," he said. "You scared?" "US," she replied gently. "You could have died." "I had to act," Rian said. "If that wall had fallen, the storm could have torn through the outpost." Mira looked down. "You didn't even think twice," Rian smiled. "I've been through worse. Back home, we call it human instinct. Fix it first, worry later." Mira touched the edge of his blanket. "You're very different from the humans in our history records. Maybe your records need an update," he said with a weak chuckle. By afternoon, Rian was walking again. Though tired, he joined the others outside as they repaired the remaining damage. He carried tools, lifted panels, and gave advice on how to strengthen the structure. Lyra watched him closely. "You fix things with your hands," she said. "I'm not a soldier," Rian replied. "I was an engineer before everything changed." "Then, why do you have the will of a fighter?" Lyra asked. Rian shrugged. "Sometimes surviving is harder than fighting." Veza raised an eyebrow. "You believe survival is strength?" "I believe kindness is strength," Rian said. "Helping others when you don't have to, that's real power." The four Tsari looked at him in silence. His words were simple, but they touched something deep. That evening, they sat together in the main hall, sharing food. For the first time, it felt less like guards and prisoner, and more like a team. Mira passed him a fruit slice. "It's called Vora, sweet but sharp." Rian bit into it. His eyes widened. "Like sour candy." "What is candy?" Veza asked. "A human treat," he replied. "Tastes like joy." They all smiled softly. Even Lyra. "Tell us more of Earth," Enwen asked. Rian leaned back. "We have deserts full of red sand, and forests so thick you can't see the sun. Oceans that stretch beyond sight. And snow so cold it stings your face." "And the people?" Mira asked. "Some are kind, some are not," Rian said. "But the best ones, they help even when it's hard. That's the kind I try to be." Later that night, as stars filled the sky, the four women stood outside, watching the horizon. "He's different," Mira said. "Different from the warnings we were given," said Nguyen. "Our leaders say humans are unstable," Veza added. "Too emotional, too wild." "Maybe emotion isn't weakness," Lyra said quietly. "Maybe it's a kind of wisdom." They looked at her, surprised by her change in tone. "I've seen strength before," Lyra continued. "But not like his, not silent, not gentle." Mira nodded. "He's strong, but soft." Enwen smiled. "Like warm metal." Veza gave a small laugh. "That sounds like a human name." They all smiled. The next morning, while repairing a small engine, Rian cut his hand on a sharp edge. Blood ran down his palm. Enwen rushed forward, worried. "You're hurt." "It's okay," Rian said calmly. "It's just a scratch." She watched as he wrapped it himself using the clean cloth. "You don't panic," she said. "Not even when bleeding." "I've been through worse," Rian said again. "Pain is part of life." "But you don't show fear," Nguyen whispered. Rian looked at her. "Of course I feel fear. I just don't let it stop me." Those words stayed with her. Later that day, Lyra asked him to help recalibrate the solar energy panels. He climbed the tall metal tower with ease, balancing as if he had done it 100 times. The wind blew strong, but he didn't waver. From below, the four watched. "He trusts the sky," Mira said. "No," Veza replied. "He trusts himself." When Rian came down, smiling, Lyra gave him a small nod. "For someone alone," she said, "you carry a lot of hope." Rian looked at them all. "Hope is what keeps me going." That night, as he slept peacefully, the Tsari sat together again. "What do we do with him now?" Enwan asked. "We keep him here," Lyra answered. "He's not ready to return." And we're not ready to let him go, Veza nodded. He has no home. Maybe he can make one here, Mira smiled. With us? Lyra looked at the stars through the ceiling window. We feared him once. But now I think we are the ones learning. And, deep in their minds, the walls of fear began to fall. The days passed peacefully on Vilis. The storm damage was gone, and the outpost returned to normal. But something had changed, something quiet and important. Rian was no longer treated like a stranger. He worked with the Tsari, shared meals with them, and laughed during simple moments. He had earned their respect, maybe even something more. One morning, Lyra entered the control room to find Rian and Mira sitting together, studying a holomap of nearby stars. You know these paths? Lyra asked. Rian nodded. A little. I studied navigation back on Earth. These stars match the outer rim of the Zevran cluster. Mira smiled. He helped fix our old star chart system. Now it updates in real time. Lyra walked over. How? Did you do that? I combined your energy readers with my backup scanner from the pod, Rian said. Different tech, but they speak the same language if you're patient. Lyra raised an eyebrow. You did this without command training? Rian chuckled. On Earth, we don't always wait for orders. We solve what needs solving. Later that day, Enwen joined Rian in the engineering bay. She watched as he cleaned one of their old core relays, which had been malfunctioning for weeks. You have no fear of machines, she said. Rian smiled. Machines are simple. They break, they get fixed. People are harder. Enwen tilted her head. So you find comfort in fixing things? Maybe, Rian replied. When you fix something, you feel useful, alive. Enwen thought about that. In the Sari world, machines were built and discarded quickly. Few cared about repairing them. Watching Rian treat old parts with care made her feel something new: curiosity. That night, the five of them gathered near the central table. A small fire burned in the middle, giving soft warmth. Rian brought out a small device round, black and dusty. What is that? Mira asked. A music pod, Rian answered. One of the last things I saved from my ship. He pressed a button. A slow, gentle sound filled the room. Soft instruments. A human voice singing in a language they didn't understand. But they didn't need to. The feeling reached them. What is it saying? Veza asked. It's about longing, Rian said quietly. Missing home and finding something better. They listened in silence. Even Lyra, who rarely showed emotion, closed her eyes. I never knew human sound could carry peace, Mira whispered. Rian smiled. Sometimes words aren't needed. The next morning, Mira found Rian sitting in the garden, sketching the mountain range. You draw too? She asked. Not well, Rian replied, but I like it. Makes me notice small details. She sat beside him. What else can you do? I can cook. I can build shelters. I even taught children once before I left Earth. You taught? Young ones? Mira asked with interest. Rian nodded. I like that. They ask questions adults are afraid to ask. Myra paused. What would a child ask about us? He looked at her. They'd ask if you're kind, if you're lonely, if you smile when no one is looking. Mira smiled. You notice everything, don't you? I try, Rian said. In the evening, Lyra called a group meeting. We need to talk, she said firmly. About Rian. The others turned to her. He has helped us more than we expected, Lyra continued. He repaired our tech. He calmed our fears. He showed no threat, but still, Command will want to know. You want to send a report? Veza asked, frowning. Not yet, Lyra said. I want to hear what we think, all of us. Mira spoke. First, I say he stays. He has given us knowledge we didn't even ask for. Enwen added, he gave us something else too. Trust. He trusts us. That's rare. Veza nodded. If Command finds out, they'll take him away, study him. Maybe. Worse, Lyra was quiet, then she looked up. Then we keep this quiet for now. The next day, Rian was invited to speak in front of them again. But this time, not about Earth. They wanted to know about him. What drives you? Lyra asked. Rian thought for a moment. I guess. I just want to be better than what people expect, he said. Humans get judged fast, loud, messy, emotional. But there's more to us. We build things. We protect those we care about. And when we fall, we rise again. That sounds painful, Lyra said. It is, Rian replied. But pain teaches, it shows us what matters. Vesa leaned forward. And what matters most to you? He looked at them all. Connection. Being understood. Helping when no one else will. That night, Mira sent a private message through a quiet channel. It was short and secret, sent to her sister who lived in the capital. He's not what we were told. He's not a monster. He's something else, something we need to learn from. I'll explain more later. She deleted the message from the system, leaving no trace. Outside, Rian stood near the cliff, looking at the stars again. He didn't know about the message. He didn't know his time on Velis might soon change, but he felt something growing, a bond, a place, a hope. For the first time in a long while, he didn't feel alone. 2 days after the scout signal, the silence broke. A bright light appeared in the sky, slow and steady. It was a command vessel, small but official. It hovered above the nearby hills, then landed on the flat rock ground not far from the outpost. Inside, the Fort Sari stood ready. Rian sat quietly among them, hands resting on his knees. His eyes were calm, but his heart beat fast. Are they here for me? He asked. Lyra nodded. Yes. Will they arrest me? Not if we speak first, she said firmly. Mira stepped closer. We are not letting them take you away. You don't have to protect me, Rian said softly. But we want to, Nuain replied. Vesa added. This time, we choose what's right. The door to the outpost opened. 3 officers from the command ship stepped in. They wore silver armor with sharp lines and glowing crests. The lead officer was taller than the rest. Her name was Officer Ravel, known for strict judgment and quick decisions. Her eyes scanned the room and fell on Rian. So it's true, she said. A human, living freely on Velis. Lyra stepped forward. Yes, he crashed here. We found him injured. He is not a threat. Ravel ignored her and looked directly at Rian. State your name and origin. Rian, Earth, he said simply. You are not permitted on Sari territory, Ravel replied coldly. I didn't mean to come here, Rian said. I crashed. That's the truth. Ravel turned to Lyra. Why did you not report this? Lyra stood tall. Because he proved himself. He helped us. He protected us. That's not your decision to make, Ravel snapped. No, Vesa said. It's our decision now. The command officer narrowed her eyes. You forget your duty. Mira stepped forward. No, we remembered our hearts. We saw what he truly is. Ravel looked at them all. You have broken protocol. That means punishment. Rian stood up. Please, he said. If someone must be punished, let it be me. I don't want them hurt because of me. That moment struck the room like thunder. Even Ravel paused. You offer yourself? She asked. Yes, Rian said. They gave me safety. I won't let them suffer for it. Ravel stepped closer to him. She studied his face. You fear me. Yet you still speak, she said. I fear losing what I found here, Rian answered. Ravel looked at the others. You say he is peaceful, but humans are known to deceive. Why trust him? Lyra answered firmly. Because we saw him bleed for us, fix our systems, risk his life during the storm, and never ask for anything. Mira added, he showed us humanity in ways our own people forgot. Ravel stayed quiet for a moment. Then she said, I will not decide today. Everyone looked up. Ravel turned to Rian. You will come to the capital. There, you will be studied, questioned, but not as a prisoner, as a guest. If you are what they claim, we will know. Rian looked at the fort Sari. Will I be able to return? He asked. That depends, Rival replied. On you. As the command ship prepared for departure, Rian stood with the four at the edge of the cliff. I guess this is goodbye, he said. For now, Lyra replied. You don't have to go, Mira whispered. I do, Rian said. They won't believe until they see. And if I go, maybe they'll stop fearing humans. Enwin stepped forward. We will speak for you, every day if needed. Vesa handed him a small crystal. Press this when you miss us, she said. It plays the Vora song, Rian smiled. Thank you. Then he looked at each of them. You changed me, he said. You gave me hope again. Lyra stepped forward last. And you reminded us that strength is not only in weapons, but in kindness. The ship rose into the sky. Rian stood in the doorway, watching them until they were small below, and the four alien women watched the sky until the ship vanished into the stars. Weeks passed at the capital. Rian was questioned, observed, tested, but he never lied. Never hid. He told stories, repaired broken tech, helped an injured officer walk again. He even made a small garden in the courtyard, filled with soft green grass and purple vines. Just like Velis, slowly others began to see what Lyra's team had seen, that humans could learn, that humans could care, that this one was different. 1 month later, a message came. Clear, approved for return. No further study required. Trust granted. When the shuttle landed back on Velis, Rian stepped out wearing the same simple clothes, holding a pack with tools and gifts. The four were already waiting near the landing site. He stepped forward and they smiled. Mira was the first to speak. Welcome home, Rian laughed. Home? You really mean that? Lyra nodded. You were always part of it. Now it's official. Vesa added, Command may have rules, but we have something better. Enwine smiled. We have you. And for the first time in his life, Rian knew what it truly meant to belong, not by blood, not by race, but by heart. Velis was quiet the next morning. The wind was soft. The clouds were light. But inside the outpost, a storm was building, not outside, but within. Rian stood near the old communication tower, adjusting the satellite dish. Beside him, Enwin passed tools while Myra read numbers from the console. You understand our systems better than some trained officers, Enwin said with a hint of wonder. Rian smiled. Where I'm from, survival depends on knowing a little of everything. You can't wait for help, you learn. Or you don't last, Mira nodded. That sounds lonely. It was, Rian replied. But it made me strong. Inside, Lyra and Vesa spoke in private. You saw the message Myra sent, Vesa said. She trusts him, too much. Lyra didn't respond right away. She stared at the central screen, showing a soft green glow around the outpost, a signal. Shield that Rian had reinforced. He has earned her trust, Lyra finally said. And maybe mine. Vesa stepped closer. You sound like you're ready to defend him. Lyra looked at her. I'm not sure. But every day he teaches us something new. He gives more than he takes. He speaks with no lies. What kind of threat behaves like that? Vesa said nothing. She wasn't sure anymore. By evening, the five gathered near the fire again. It had become a habit now, a quiet circle under the stars, where stories were shared without fear. Tonight, Lyra asked something new. Tell us the worst part of your world. Rian looked into the fire. There are many, but I'll tell you. One. He paused. The flames danced in his eyes. There was a time we almost destroyed ourselves, he began. Wars that burned cities, greed that poisoned oceans, fear that made neighbors into enemies. It was dark. People lost hope. The Tsari listened quietly. But even then, Rian continued, some humans didn't give up. They helped strangers. They rebuilt homes. They gave food when they had none left. That's how we survived, not just with science or power, but with hearts that refused to stop caring. Mira's voice was soft. You saw this? Rian nodded. I lived through some of it. Enwon leaned forward. And you still believe in kindness? I have to, Rian said. Without it, we're just shadows. The silence after his words was deep. Then Lyra stood up. I want to show you something. She led them to the old storage room. From a locked drawer, she took out a small black box. Inside was a disc of memory record from years ago. She placed it in the console. A hologram appeared. It showed images of early humans, wild, loud, and fighting. Screaming, running, destroying. This is what we were taught, Lyra said. This is the human history we believed. Rian watched the images calmly. That's part of our truth, but not the whole truth. Lyra turned to him. Then give us the rest. Rian stepped forward and placed his own data chip into the system. His chip held different images, humans planting trees, saving animals, carrying injured people, and building homes together. This is also human history, he said. Pain and healing, anger and forgiveness, the full picture. The Tsari stared at the screen. These two truths live in us together, Rian said. What we choose matters more than what we've been. The next day, the outpost received a strange signal. A scout drone from Tsari Command had passed near the region. The signal was brief, but enough to alert the team. They're looking near us, Veza said, checking the data. If they find this place, they'll take Rian, Mira said quietly. For questioning, or worse. Nain looked at Lyra. What do we do? Lyra's face was calm, but her eyes were sharp. We prepare. That evening, Rian noticed the tension in the air. You're worried, he said. Lyra nodded. A scout passed near us. Command may come. I understand, Rian replied. If you want me to hide, I will. Mira shook her head. You shouldn't have to hide, but I will, Rian said. If it protects you. Veza stepped forward. You would do that, after everything? Rian looked at her. I didn't come here to cause problems. I just want peace. Before nightfall, Mira walked with Rian to the edge of the forest. The stars above were quiet and wide. I sent that message to my sister, Mira confessed. Rian looked at her. Why? Because I wanted someone to know the truth, she said. That not all humans are dangerous. That one of them saved us, fixed our systems, taught us to look deeper. Rian smiled gently. Thank you. You changed something. Inside me, she whispered. I don't see humans the same way anymore. Rian looked at her face calm, strong, and glowing in the moonlight. I don't feel so alone anymore, he said. Back at the outpost, Lyra watched the horizon with a serious look. They will come, she said. And when they do, we must be ready. Ready to fight? Nyan asked. No, Lyra replied. Ready to speak. Ready to stand beside him. Veza walked to the window. Then we stand together. The four nodded. They had once feared the human. Now they would defend him, not because of orders, not because of duty, but because they had seen the truth.